For our first story, we have fired Fed. I am considering cutting off every Orange Man supporter. Got axed. Not going to say which agency. I've always considered myself extremely tolerant and willing to love people as they are even if we don't agree on everything. I've never been an Orange Man supporter, but I've kept it civil with friends and family that were. Some of them liked having a civil conversation about him. Some were belligerent about politics, so we didn't bring it up and tried to enjoy each other's company. Getting cut from a great job that I really believed in with no notice has been extremely traumatic. It's still raw, but I feel so personally betrayed by those that voted for him. I can't see past the politics anymore when I look at these people I cared about. Some have been contrite and apologetic, but then turn around and support him and VP Musk on social media. I just can't right now. I'm thinking about posting something and wishing the whole herd all of the best. Hope they have a good life, but I won't be in it. Or maybe I just quietly block all of them and focus on myself for a while. I do know that I will need to talk to my in-laws. I've always had a great relationship with them, but thinking of going to their house and watching Fox News almost makes me sick. Am I the asshole for feeling this way? Does it make me an asshole for cutting all these 20+ year relationships off? Am I overreacting and acting out of emotion? That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Just withdraw right now and stick with those you will comfortable around. Then see how you feel when it isn't so raw." Our second commenter says, "Not the asshole. You're not obligated to maintain relationships with people who actively support policies that harm you. Your mental and emotional health are important." Our third commenter says, "Not the asshole. I would make it public. Let them know they voted you out of a job, and if they feel you are that corrupt, then maybe they don't need you in their lives. Then block them on everything." For our second story, we have update. Am I the ass for not letting my friends use my backyard for their wedding because they do not want me to bring a +1? Original post. Here is the situation. Last summer, I bought my grandparents' house. This house was the hangout spot for my friends and I throughout our childhood. This includes my friend, Dave. The house has a sizable amount of land, which includes a lake and a gazebo. I was supposed to buy the house with my now ex-girlfriend, Leslie. But going through the process of getting approved to buy, I found out that she has massive amounts of credit card and personal debt that she hid from me throughout our 4 years together. I decided to break up as a result. That was about 6 months ago. I met Leslie because Dave's long-term girlfriend, Kim, is Leslie's cousin. Dave and Kim are engaged and set to get married in April. When I was buying the house, they asked if they could have the ceremony at the gazebo, which I agreed to do. In December, I started dating again. Leslie has not taken this well at all. She thinks we are going to get back together and has tried multiple times to make that happen. I have told her in no uncertain terms that isn't happening. Dave and Kim have asked me to not bring a +1 to the wedding for Leslie's sake. I have told them that this request is ridiculous. This wedding is happening at my house, using my land, and I am not allowed to bring a date because of a crazy ex. If that is the case, then they need to find a new venue for the wedding. They are pissed about this given the short time frame of when the wedding is supposed to happen. So, we are at an impasse. Am I the ass? Edit. I have seen a few things brought up a number of times in the comments, so I will quickly address them here. 1. I am fully aware of the liability issues, which is why I purchased, and they reimbursed me for a special event insurance policy which will provide 100% coverage for any damages, claims, injuries, etc. to any of the property or persons up to $2 million. It is one of the first things we did after I agreed to have the event in my home. 2. The wedding will have a maximum, if every comes, of 75 guests, 5 catering staff, and 5 security staff. The security is because this is an open area that anyone walking past can access. The house has hosted events twice this size and logistically it has been fine. On the property are 2 cottages, one with 1 bathroom and the other with 2 bathrooms. The only portion of my house that will not be locked during the wedding is the finished basement. The basement has 2 bathrooms. 3. Every person who is single, i.e. not in an established relationship, received an invitation with a +1, including me and Leslie. This talk came after I sent in my return card and indicated I was bringing a +1. Now, they are saying they do not want me to have the +1 because Leslie blew up about it and they are afraid of a blow-up at the wedding. 4. Leslie indicated she intends to bring someone on her card. I do not know if she will actually bring someone. Update: so, I met with Dave this morning. We talked for almost 2 hours about everything. I laid it out that I thought he was, at best, a shitty friend. I went through our long history of various things over the years that has me questioning our friendship. That was the bulk of our conversation. We then turned to the breakup with Leslie and the shit show of the last 6 months. Throughout the last 6 months, despite Leslie's craziness, I have bent over backwards to try and accommodate her feelings. She has shown up to my house in the middle of the night. I did not go for a restraining order. When I go out, I do not go to places I know that her and her family like to go. She has implied to her family and mutual friends, at various times, that I cheated and/or that I took advantage of her financially. Neither of which is true at all. I have held my tongue to not embarrass her about these things in front of her friends and family. Dave knows all that and yet is demanding, once again, that I put Leslie's feelings before my own. I said, "You and everyone need to stop coddling her like she is a fucking child." Dave concedes that Leslie has been crazy and ridiculous since the breakup. But, he says, she feels she did not get closure after the relationship. She wants to have an evening where she can talk to you to get that closure. He also told me that Leslie has been very vigilant about paying off her debt and paid off almost $10,000 of the credit card debt. She wants to talk to me about her progress. To see if that might cause me to change my mind. It will not. I asked him, "So, do you expect me to go to the wedding and talk to her?" Because I have her blocked everywhere and, date or not, I do not plan to say a single mumbling word to her. He said, "I fully expect she would lose it if y'all do not talk at the wedding." I told him if that is the case, then, for the good of my property, I can't have Leslie come. If she is so unstable that I need to be coerced into a conversation with her, she is too unsafe to be a guest, in any capacity in my home. So, I have told him, based on what he has told me, Leslie cannot come to my house or on my land. I am willing to still have the wedding at my place, but I cannot trust Leslie won't do something given what you are telling me. Dave lost it at this point. He said, "Fuck you and your shit. I don't need it." So, I said, "Then the wedding is off." He left. So, that is the state of things. That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Well, I think one of your key takeaways from this is that you need to start living your life. Stop avoiding places you normally go to. Clarify to people why you broke up. Not that you cheated. And put together any evidence of her crazy behavior so you can get a restraining order if needed. You also need to tell people why the wedding isn't happening at your place, as you know they're going to make you out to be the bad guy." Our second commenter says, to add, "The day of the wedding is not the time to get closure and at the wedding is not the place to get closure. Your friends are okay with her hijacking their ceremony so she can sleep better at night? Yeah, that would be a big, not happening, any of it, from me." Our third commenter says, "BS, he wants you and Leslie to get back together. You said nothing unreasonable. The point is not that she is paying her bills now. The point is she lied to you and hid this debt for 4 years. That's the issue. That is crazy your so-called friend is siding with her. He all but tried to coerce you into talking to her at the wedding. They can find another venue if she is that damn important." For our last story, we have, "Am I the ass for asking for a divorce after my wife called me a loser and mocked my hobbies? My wife and I have been married for a few years, and overall, things have been fine, but recently, we had a huge argument that made me reconsider everything. I've always been passionate about gaming, board games, and other hobbies that help me unwind. I have a dedicated room in our house for my setup, which I've put a lot of time and money into. My wife has never been into gaming, but I never thought it was an issue, until now. During an argument about something completely unrelated, she snapped and called me a loser and a man-child for spending so much time and money on childish hobbies. She went on about how it's embarrassing that I still play video games as an adult and how I should be focusing on more important things. She even mocked my gaming room, calling it a playroom for an overgrown teenager. I was stunned. She had never expressed these feelings so openly before, and hearing her say it with such contempt really hit me. I asked if she had always felt this way, and she doubled down, saying she thought I would eventually grow out of it. That was the breaking point for me. I don't think I can be with someone who doesn't respect something that is such a big part of my life. It's not just about gaming, it's about the fact that she sees me as immature or a joke because of my hobbies. I told her I wanted a divorce. Now, she's acting like I'm overreacting and that I'm throwing our marriage away over just some words. Some of our friends think I'm making a rash decision, but I feel like this was more than just an insult, it was a glimpse into how she truly sees me. Am I the ass for deciding I don't want to be with someone who looks down on me like this? TLDR. My wife called me a loser and a man-child for having a gaming room and hobbies she sees as childish. I told her I wanted a divorce, and now she says I'm overreacting. Am I the ass? That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Not the asshole. You already had these hobbies when you got married. It's unreasonable for her to expect you to grow out of it. You marry the person you have, not the one you hope they'll become." Our second commenter says, "Not the asshole. Tell her you wouldn't dream of saddling her with a loser like yourself." That's sarcasm to get her to eat her words, and so that's why you're setting her free to find more of a man. It's giving her what she wants. Our third commenter says, "She thought she could change you. When someone tells you who they are, believe them." That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.